I'm amazed how the run helps me be a better software engineer. Well, if that's something that you're interested in, please stay tuned. Finished my run. The day is perfect. It's not too hot. It's just amazing. And I'll tell you, even though earlier today I was a little bit stuck, I needed to find some motivation to continue working. I have a lot of stuff that I need to complete before my trip next week, actually this weekend. And I decided to go for a run. And I'm amazed how the run helps me find the motivation to continue and gets me out of that mindset or that block state that I cannot continue. So I'll head home, get changed, and I'll tell you how the running app that I'm using and the track I'm listening to changes the way I work, helps me be a better software engineer, and helps me live a better life. Hear the birds. That's what I enjoy the most about running here at this park. It's a remote park. Not a lot of people know about it. And I like that it's quiet, not crowded. It's next to the water. And I like the sound of birds. I see different animals. I see rabbits, deer. And you might be wondering why it's blue. I'm using magic, I believe it's called Blue Magic.
Do you have days when you feel like you lack motivation, or that the motivation just slipped through your fingers? And from one moment you were pretty motivated, and the next moment you don't have the energy or the motivation to move on, to continue, and whatever you're doing, you're just pushing through the motions to get it done. If you are in a scenario where you are unmotivated at work, you don't care about what's going on, you just go through the motions, you know that you need to do a specific feature, you have to deliver something by the end of the week or something like that, and you just don't have the motivation. So what can you do in that cases? Well, I will share what works for me. Hopefully that will work for you as well. But if not, there are other ways you can do that, and I'll try to share that as well. So what works for me is going for a run or for a walk, depending on the situation, right? Most of the time, I try to go for a run. Running makes me a better software engineer, and you might be wondering how. Well, there are multiple ways that running makes me a better developer. First of all, it helps me get out of that state that gets me roadblocked, and it's a mental block, right? It helps me focus better. While I'm running, I'm listening to a guided run. And I've just started to do this recently. And the guided run is actually helping you to reach your goals or keep you motivated to run and so on. So while I'm listening to this guided run that motivates me to continue running, it gives you different information, how to be aware of your body, how to be aware of your thoughts and so on. And in those talks, the information that is provided, actually a lot of times I'm thinking about, well, this motivation also should be applied in software engineering. It's kind of the same. It doesn't matter what you either you're running or you're software engineering or something like that. All of these tasks require your awareness, your presence of mind. So the information that is provided, I'm trying to apply it to software engineering. And what is that guided run is trying to do is trying to answer the question that what can you do when you're out of motivation? What can you do that you feel like the motivation is gone for good? Well, the coach says, and he has a really powerful idea, is that motivation is a sense of purpose that is always with us. And he says something like, we have all we need. We are equipped mentally to do what we need. Even in those moments when we feel that we are out of inspiration, out of confidence or motivation. And he says that in those moments, you have certain thoughts that pop up in your mind, and those thoughts might be thoughts of boredom, confusion, and you start to believe in them. What he said is that our thoughts are the only thing that are in the way of our motivation. And it's like, I started to think about it, and yes, like whatever we are thinking at that moment, that's what is actually holding us back. It's keeping us kind of, let's say, keeps us captive to our thoughts. What he was trying to bring to the point is that mentally we have everything we need to do what we need to do. In that case, he was referencing running. But if I'm applying this to software engineering, mentally we have everything to do the task we have on hand. It takes us to be focused, motivated, and so on, right? So what we have to do is just to identify those thoughts that pop in our mind, the thoughts of boredom, confusion, indifference, and so on. And once we identify them, analyze them, and just let them go. And this is not easy. It takes practice to identify it, to identify the thoughts that are distracting us, the thoughts that are in the way of our motivation. And that is actually the secret of a happy life, a happy software engineering or a happy career, let's say that. So you have to learn how to identify your thoughts, get past them, get through the distraction. What else he's saying? He's saying also that it is so easy to get lost in searching something that we already have. And we tend to search for motivation, we tend to look for inspiration, but we already have that. It's just a matter of us identifying what we're feeling, what are our thoughts, and get past them. And he's bringing an interesting metaphor, and I'll try to explain it as good as I can. He's trying to compare the thoughts that we have in our mind and our motivation and our mental state with a blue sky and clouds. He's saying the blue sky is always there, no matter what. But there are days when there are clouds, when it's raining, and in Seattle area, that's just the reality. It's raining a lot. And what it happens to us is that when the clouds appear in the sky, we tend to focus on the skies. We tend to focus on the clouds. And we start to think that that's normal. And we start to pay attention to those thoughts, to analyze those thoughts, right? Those clouds. And as a result, there are more clouds in the sky. So the solution there is to think that the clouds are a normal state. We know that they are there, we know they are temporary and that they will go away, and just keep in mind that the sky is limitless and it's always blue and it's always there. Here are some other thoughts how to get motivation. First of all, make your goals bite-sized goals. The reason being that the smaller your goals are, the faster you'll be able to do, and the faster you have that feeling of accomplishment, that reward that you made a progress, you had something done. Make the people that you work with happy. And by making the people around you happy, by default, you might result getting the inspiration and happiness from that. Reward yourself for your accomplishments. And that might be as simple as, okay, you've done a task that you had scheduled and now you can go have a cup of coffee. Or if it's Friday and you have a Friday donuts in the office or something like that, you can go and get a donut. Another one that I believe should apply to everybody is make something that makes you happy. If you do something that makes you happy, it's pretty easy to get back to your motivation. Try to find a task that actually brings you joy, that makes you happiest. I will tell you, I have a lot of tasks that I love to get out of my plate, but the reality is that currently I can't. And what I do, I actually try to schedule my day in such a way that in the morning I get more tasks that I enjoy doing. I'm able to focus the most in the morning, and I get more accomplished in the morning. And the ones that I don't really like, don't really enjoy, I schedule them toward the end of the day or between the meetings. Think about your impact. It's so easy to get lost in the code, to be always deep down in thoughts of how to write code, how to solve a problem. And that's just what we enjoy the most, solving problems, right? But sometimes you have to stop and think about the impact you do. Maybe you've done somebody's day easier. Maybe the feature that you implemented it's saving somebody's time. Whatever it is, think about the impact you have. And when you think about that, that's another thing that can get you motivated. And also there are other stuff you can do that will get back to your motivations. Whatever you can identify that helps, make sure to do that, and that will help you. The biggest source of motivation are your own thoughts. So think big to motivate yourself to win. If you feel like it, subscribe to this channel for new videos in software engineering, the experiences we go through as a software engineer. Also, leave your thoughts and comments below. How do you get out of a rut? How do you get out of the days and moments when you're out of motivation? I would love to hear your secret tricks. Thank you. It means so much to me that you decided to watch this video. And I'm pretty new to this, and obviously I'm still trying to figure out how to do YouTube. So please feel free to suggest anything you'd like to hear, any thoughts, any feedback is welcome.